yeah, you got the pterosaur figure, and he's like a little pterodactyl, and you flip his head up, and his tail and body flips down, and bada bing, bada boom, he's transformed. Big fucking deal.
Was this as Rat Trap?
This is whatever Gotham needs it to be.
I don't even know what it is, but apparently I don't know what it is, but Gotham needs me. People listening are like, "What? This isn't what I want. What is wrong with these two?" Unsubscribe.
Too much energy.
What is up, Maximals and Predheads? This is another episode of Too Much Energon, a podcast where myself and another mysterious host talk about we kind of talk about Transformers and particularly on the show Beast Wars, the 90s animated show by Mainframe Entertainment. I am one of your intrepid hosts, NeoCal.
And I am one of your other scintillating hosts, Christopher Siege.
Christopher Siege and the Neo are reviewing the episode called Chain of Command. So if anybody listening to this is a little confused, we review the episodes in the production order. So this is episode 3, which follows Beast Wars Part 1 and 2. However, the air date doesn't always line up with that. This is episode 5 when it comes to original air date.
Yeah.
So this came out September 24th, 1996, but you might have watched it a little bit after certain other episodes. But if you're following along, that's how we're doing it. Production order. Just go to the wiki, look at the production order, the production code, and that's how we're doing it. So sorry if we didn't mention it last time, but trust me, we're going to mention it every single episode from here on out. Christopher.
Yep.
Chain of Command.
Yeah, Chain of Command. In the interest of transparency, this is not the first time we've talked about this episode. And
you love it so much, we made another episode of it.
Much like the last 2 episodes, Beast Wars Part 1 and 2, we originally recorded this months ago, but as with the original recordings of Beast Wars Part 1 and 2, we felt the quality wasn't quite up to snuff, especially to where we got in terms of, mic quality, recording quality, editing quality, yada, yada, yada. So we've gone back.
Competency.
Well, I mean, that's probably going down with time.
God. We slowly become more than meets the eye as we go insane from watching Beast Wars.
Oh, shit. Yeah, so we decided to go back and re-record the first few episodes because, if you're just checking this show out for the first time, we want to put our best foot forward and make sure we're delivering the kind of quality content that we become world renowned for.
Yes.
Later on,
by the time you're listening to this, it may be before we're world known for reviewing 90s Canadian animation.
In which case, take heed.
How do you do, fellow kids?
Take heed, because you are getting in on the ground floor of potential future greatness. Also, thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Well, that's been this.
Well, we'll see you next week.
We'll be back next week with. So anyway, just wanted to point that out, and now that that's out of the way, Chain of Command. So the episode opens with
Stonehenge.
Yep. Well, first we see a shot of 2 moons because this is, totes not Earth, bruh.
Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah. Camera pans down. Now to Stonehenge.
Interesting that in Stonehenge there are all the Maximals there, right?
Yeah.
And they're all standing like their animal counterparts. But Rat Trap is standing up on his hind legs, and so is Optimus, a gorilla. He's holding something in the shape of a gun in his hand.
Yeah, gorillas can be gorillas and all the other great apes can be bipedal for a certain period of time.
Semi-bipedal, yeah.
Yeah.
But I wanted to point out that he's holding something in his hand, like a gun. And perhaps many episodes from now, I will bring up an observation about that. But yeah, they're sciencing it. They're investigating Stonehenge.
They're doing a science, and Detective Rhinox is all like, "This isn't a natural stone formation. Someone built this thing." And it's like, you don't say, bud. Glad Rhinox is here to tell us that.
Yeah, somebody give him the what are those Swedish science awards they give out? The freaking wow, my mind is blanking.
The first thing that popped into my head was the Hugo Award, and I'm like, no, that's for sci-fi writing.
You know what? Give him the Hugo Award.
Give him the Hugo Award.
That's hilarious.
Why not? And yeah, Rat Trap's like, I thought this planet was uninhabited. And Optimus is like, well, yeah, and something else is odd. We're getting an energon reading underneath this pile of rocks. And in the middle of Stonehenge is this weird, like, pyramid shape, literal pile of rocks.
Yeah, suspiciously pyramid-like. Oh, Nobel Prize. That's what I was trying to think of. Give Rhinox the Nobel Prize and
the Hugo Award.
Yeah.
Give him both. Give him an Emmy
in science in general. Just give him an Emmy. Yeah, so here they are, being animals of science, and what do they want?
Yeah, Rat Trap
I forgot.
Rat Trap feels kind of weird about all this. He's like, oh, it's like bait in a mousetrap. And
yeah.
Rhinox continues to reiterate that it's not a natural stone formation, and it's like, dude, we get it, okay? We can see it.
You mean these piles of like cubes and rectangular like stones weren't placed like that through natural means?
Yeah, I know, like, shocking. So Dinobot tries to...
It looks so dumb. He uses his little velociraptor arms to like start unpiling the whatever's underneath the rocks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's like, we better hurry before the Predacons show up.
And as if on cue, Megatron and Waspinator show up, and there's Pterosaur, because those two always travel in pairs. Some dramatic rock music plays, and the Flyers
certainly does.
The Flyers transform and start shooting at the Maximals, who go back to who fall into what may become a common maximal maneuver of hiding behind a rock.
Hey, if it works. They got the drop on the Maximals and missed. Just did nothing but miss.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
Now we know how Stonehenge was fucked up. It was the Predacons.
That's a good point.
Never even thought about that. They don't actually mess it up. Like they don't break any of the stone doorways or pillars or anything.
Well, not yet, anyway.
No, not yet, yeah.
So Dinobot and Rat Trap transform and
get shot at. And
Optimus is like, oh, keep them busy or something like that. And Rat Trap's like, yeah, whatever. Starts shooting at Scorponok, who's standing on the on top of Stonehenge.
Yeah, like a boss. And
Yeah.
for probably the only time in the entire season, Cheetor gets the drop on Scorponok. Sorry, no, he often gets the drop on Scorponok. He does not often shoot Scorponok, but he gets him.
He gets Tarantulas, actually.
No, Rat Trap shoots Tarantulas, and Cheetor shot Scorponok. Not that it matters who shot who, but and they give each other a thumbs up.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Not bad.
I mentioned that because Cheetor seems to get the short stick in the rest of the season when it comes to doing anything with the arachnids.
That is true. Spoilers for future episodes of Too Much Energon and Beast
Cheetor
Wars.
doesn't have a nice time. Yeah. But yeah, Optimus takes flight like a boss.
Yep. Super apes into the air, going after the flyers. They exchange some fire, and then for whatever reason, Pterosaur decides to just shoot
Yeah.
the pile of
The
stones.
pile of stones in the middle of the of Stonehenge. And then there's like a Mission Impossible slow-mo explosion with Rhinox flying towards the camera. How have I not noticed that before? Rhinox flying away from the center where the explosion was.
Yeah.
Even Megatron's like, Pterosaur, you fool! You've unleashed the crystal's energy. And I'm like, he did it on purpose.
Yeah.
Like quite clearly, he stopped shooting at the Maximals, turned, saw the pile of rocks in the middle, smiled, and then shot it.
Yeah, took aim and then fired, and yeah.
Shithead. Which apparently the Predacons were only there because there was an unusual Energon signature.
Yeah, I mean, I find it interesting that the Maximals and Predacons both took interest in Stonehenge at the same time, but
For different reasons.
for different reasons.
Yeah,
So,
that's a good point.
one thing I want to point out that's that you come to watching through the show in production order as opposed to broadcast order.
There is some sort of story.
there is a bit of continuity here. So in the last episode, Beast Wars Part 2, they noticed Stonehenge when they were walking through that cave on the way to the Energon Mountain. So they noticed Stonehenge and didn't really do anything with that information at the time because, they had more pressing matters. But now that that's dealt with, the first order of business is to go check out Stonehenge.
The scientists, damn it.
Yeah, whereas like when you're watching this in broadcast order, this is the 5th episode.
Yes.
That aired. So like I can't imagine they would have waited that long to go and check this thing out that caught their attention.
Rewatching it later, not on television when I was a kid, which was the only option at the time, unless you had the VHS copies, right?
Yeah.
Watching it in actual production order like makes so much more sense. Rather than it just being episodic, it's episodic and has a few underlying story arcs, which are gratifying.
Yeah, it's very episodic, but there are some plot threads that run through the episodes, and I challenge any listener who is a Beast Wars fan who has probably watched through the series a multitude of times before, probably in the order that's presented on the DVD, which is broadcast order. Try watching through the show in production order. Like, I've done both, and I gotta say, like, this is my first time going through the show in production order. You get more out of it.
Yes, actually. Yeah, you're like, oh, that's why there's a giant ant in this episode. Or many, many things.
Yeah, or like, oh, the the Maximals get the drop on the Predacon base because the Predacons don't have any type of security system. Okay, so the next episode, the Predacons develop autocannons around their base. And then the next episode, the Maximals develop a automatic sentry system for their base. Little things like that.
Little things like that, but you actually see them come into play.
Yeah.
Like when the Maximals charge the base. This episode, they don't have autocannons. The next episode, they do, right? So it's little things, but it is more enjoyable. Actually makes sense. I feel like the characters actually change rather than just seeming like their own archetype.
Yeah. Yeah, it's much more gratifying. So, listeners, do the thing.
Yeah, do the thing.
Do the thing as we do.
We'll always say, if you're watching along, we'll always say what the next episode will be at the end of the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So moving onwards, Pterosaur and the Predacons, I think, just pieced out because there was literally no reason for them to stick around once the Energon started. What's happening here? It's like,
yep,
they shot it, and so after the explosion, their Energon waves.
Yeah,
the pulses.
Yeah, all of Stonehenge starts getting like electrified, almost like it's shorting out. It's like a similar effect to like how the Transformers short out when they are exposed to too much Energon.
So Optimus tells the Maximals to switch to beast mode,
and to prepare for an Energon wave. Yeah.
You know what I never noticed? In a very rudimentary way, like looking at it like pulsating, it's kind of like a computer chip. Or like circuits. Really? Like almost like circuits. Wrapping around the middle and then going back out to kind of like the entrance. Like very in a very like rudimentary like way.
It's evocative.
Yeah, and it's, who knows, maybe it's built on some magic ley lines with deep bedded crystals or whatever. Some Illuminati like Egyptian magic.
Chemtrails.
And speaking of chemtrails, it shoots up into the air. There's an energy like beam from the center, like a giant blue like laser or plasma beam, and it just shoots off into the sky.
Yeah, into space.
And it kind of curves. Like it's not like just a straight like laser. It like curves this weird like plasma beam.
Well, it's like the beam is going to a specific place. Like it's not just shooting straight up.
Yeah.
It's what it kind of implies.
And then Rhinox, what a shitlord. He's just trolling at this point. That's a good thumbnail. Do you see the stoned version of him where he like pops his head up and he's like, like I said, those stones ain't natural.
Yes, I'm actually paused on that right now, and I think I might make it the show art for this episode.
His eyes are like half closed.
And again,
I don't know why he needs to tell everyone this. They know.
Yeah.
He just wants to take credit for him. He's like, hey, like I said, does everyone remember when I said they weren't natural? Yes, you were the first one to say it, but it was obvious upon first inspection.
Yeah. You were the first one to say it. You were the second one to say it. You were the 50th one to say it.
Like, we believe you.
Dude, we get it.
Cheetor then asks the real questions. What in the galaxy was that? And Rhinox, the scientist, if you haven't been paying attention, he's like, it looked like a signal.
But to who? And then Optimus is like, perhaps we'll learn the answer someday. And he looks up into the air. And it's like, gee, someday.
Someday, later that day. So literally 20 minutes later.
Yeah. Literally the next shot, some kind of like
portal?
golden
Wormhole?
like a transwarp portal or whatever
Yes, there you
opens
go.
up.
That's what they call it. And a seed.
I was gonna say a golden egg, but yes.
Oh yeah, a seed or an egg, like a pod of some kind,
Yeah.
like comes towards the planet. I like how
Yep.
Optimus is sitting there reading like his what are those little like his reading his Kindle
Yeah.
outside at night, and he sees like a meteor fall.
I just say I dig Optimus just like chilling outside at night, just reading, sitting and reading in beast
Yeah.
form.
I don't know if we've ever caught him doing anything like that before. Not the
No,
first time we reviewed it.
No, I kind of dig it. Like I wish Optimus did more things like that.
Me too. Like it kind of goes to show that the Maximals are they're a little bit more than just like fight robots.
What it reminds me of is it reminds me of in like I don't know, like Wrath of Khan or something, when you see Kirk in his quarters just like lounged back in a chair with reading glasses on, like reading Moby Dick.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like little shots like that. Oh, I just
Yeah.
pictured Optimus in his gorilla form, not his robot form, with like those little like half circle like reading glasses some people have.
Yeah.
Almost like Morpheus glasses. They just sit on your nose.
Yeah.
And I almost just pictured him just like kind of like pushing these little like spectacles up and like reading his Kindle.
That'd be great.
I bet if they weren't enemies, Optimus and Megatron would probably have some words to share over Cybertronian literature. Oh, Dinobot too. Dinobot's like a big ass fan of Earth, like ancient Earth literature, as we will find out.
Yes, as we will find out, Dinobot is a fan of Shakespeare and 19th century Earth poetry and
Uh-huh. I'm sure he's read some Sun Tzu's Art of War.
oh, undoubtedly.
Yeah. So it's but to get back to the falling like pod, Megatron happens to be out gate. Speaking of like being similar, Megatron is outside too, and he spots it. Like they don't spot it with any like sensors or scanners or anything. They just eyeball it. And Megatron immediately sees it and says that it's an incoming stasis pod, I think.
Yeah, that's what he says.
Yeah.
He is wrong, however. But he tells Waspinator to, like, I don't know, chart a course or something.
Go check it out, yeah.
Go find it, yeah. And then we cut to the Maximal base, and Rhinox is like, wrong profile for a stasis pod, but isn't a meteor either.
Yeah. And in fact, he even has like an exterior kind of like wireframe schematic of it. So it's closer in the 3D map of like that my brain has kind of made of their situation. It seems like the Maximal base is much closer to where this Stonehenge area is. Maybe.
Well,
they call them the Standing Stones.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, if you recall in Beast Wars Part 2, when they ended up accidentally blowing up the Energon Mountain, like blowing open the Energon Mountain, that was near the Maximal base. It was on that little bridge that's kind of on the way to the Maximal base.
Yeah, that's why in my head they went north, or they went towards the mountain from there.
Yeah.
And they spotted it on their way to the mountain.
Yeah.
So I feel like the Predacons would have to go past the Maximal base to get to the stones. At least that's how I've pictured it in my head.
You're not past the Maximal base, but it's
farther than it. I mean, farther than the max where the maximal bases.
Yeah, it's definitely closer to the maximal base than it is the Predacon base for sure.
And
you notice before Optimus even asks Rhinox where it's heading, and Rhinox tells us that it's heading for the Standing Stones. You see on Rhinox's console, it actually has like a model of Stonehenge.
I saw that. Like you
And-
scanned it somehow.
Yeah, and it has like a glowing, like red, like a pulsating, like red light right in the middle where the
Right in the middle.
yeah, where the energon source was.
Mm-hmm.
So he knows what's up.
And for some curious reason, only Optimus and Dinobot go to check it out.
Yeah,
And this is so perplexing to me because when they were just going there to like scientifically do readings, right?
Yep.
They were all there. But now that there is a fucking alien pod from outer space, only 2 of them go check it out? Doesn't that warrant the whole team? No?
All hands on deck, you know.
But yeah, send Dinobot, the most loyal of the the Maximals with Optimus.
Yeah, a guy who's been part of the team for 1 week.
Yeah, listeners, we kind of like joke around with time on the show, and we act like because the show's week to week, we act like a week passes between each episode, unless it's specifically a two-parter.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a joke that I will I will regularly revisit in this series.
And unless you have like a production calendar of the show that we've never seen, we're gonna assume it's canon. There's a week between each episodes. Sometimes it feels like there's more. Like, do you know what I mean? Sometimes it seems like it's been months.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's been a week. Exactly 1 week between adventures.
What is time on this planet?
Something about clicks.
Time is nanoclicks and megacycles.
That's right.
Which are what? Either 1 hour or 93 hours?
Oh, cycles are it. So
oh boy.
So the terminology for Transformers is different depending on what you're watching. With Beast Wars, I think a cycle is approximately like 1 hour. And what came after Beast Wars again?
Beast Machines.
Beast Machines. It's longer than that. But in G1, I think on some wiki pages, a cycle is 93 hours because that's how long it takes for Cybertron to cycle 360 I'm not going to get into it, but it's all over the place. But for this show, a cycle is about an hour.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
or whatever the episode needs it to be.
Honestly, it's episode to episode. Like there's very curious things. Like the characters will say, "Oh, I'm like 2 clicks away," and you're like, "Oh, 2 kilometers away, I guess." No. Clicks is a time frame, and clicks are minutes.
Yeah, isn't a click like 10 minutes or something like that?
Or 2 minutes. I'm just going from memory here, and if I cared, I would bring up the wiki and go through it with you now. But I've done that so many times that it's just I don't care anymore. In future episodes, we will have fun talking about. We spent many cycles making this.
Oh God.
Yeah, it changes episode to episode.
It took an entire Saturday afternoon. Cheers.
An entire Saturday afternoon ruined. I could have been scrapbooking. Cheers.
Spoilers for episode
Nothing.
episode 12, Dark Designs.
Yes, there's spoilers. Something took a certain amount of time, which we don't even know. But a certain invention took a certain amount of time that took many cycles.
and we had fun with it.
Yes. We'll see you in the future. Diddaloo, 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 diddaloo.
In the future past.
Yeah, so
Just like the Maximals and the planet they're on. The future past.
yeah, speaking of future past, now it is Optimus's turn to be big brain. And as they're staring at this alien pod in front of him, he goes, "Huh, looks like somebody answered the signal."
But who? And so what I was laughing about earlier when you were talking was Optimus getting shot.
Oh, I just reached that part. Holy shit, does he get shot?
Yeah,
Who's
listeners,
this?
like
Waspinator? What the fuck? Wait,
yeah,
Waspinator and Megatron are here.
yep.
And they sneak attacked Optimus.
Yep.
Wait,
And
how did they get here at the same time?
I don't know, but Optimus gets shot out of nowhere and just like blows back and lands and just
doesn't even move. He's just fucking dead.
yeah. It's a hilarious visual. Actually, this could be really good show art as well, honestly.
He's just sleeping.
And like the pose that Dinobot is in this screenshot.
Oh yeah, that's man, holy shit, does he get shot? Like Dinobot doesn't even know what to think.
Listeners, especially as this podcast goes on, a lot of the fun that we end up having as we're listening is finding hilarious shots to make the show art for the episode,
or just upload into memes.
Yeah. And this shot is no different. Anyway, so Megatron and Waspinator show up, and Megatron's basically just like, well, whatever this thing is, it's ours, bitch.
Yeah, basically.
And so he transforms, Dinobot transforms, and
and then they talk it out peacefully.
Yeah, no, the the pod starts charging up, like starts glowing and making this like charging up noise, and then lets out this kind of wave that starts shorting all of the transformers out. And in this like kind of horrifying visual, they just have white light emitting from their eyes and mouths, just shooting out.
It shoots a wave out of the pod.
Yeah,
almost like Energon, like energy wave, but
Yeah.
white instead. But what? Holy shit! So what is happening here? Because white, like fire, like erupts out of all of their eyes and mouths, and they immediately fall into what's it called? Stasis lock, presumably.
Yeah.
But in like a blast, like a plasma bolt, shoots out of the pod and just hits Optimus, and he disintegrates as he's screaming in pain.
Yeah, he's vaporized. Interesting to note, he is the only one who is in beast form, and he is the one that the probe chose to seemingly vaporize.
Yeah. And the others just kind of get passed out?
Yeah.
It's almost like they're sapped of their energy. Because Dinobot's eyes fade as he passes out, and he awakens back in the Maximal base.
Yep. And
what's up with that?
Things are a little foggy for him. And he flips out. He's in beast form in the CR chamber. And he flips out and is all like, maximal torture chamber. And then leaps out onto Rat Trap, hilariously enough. Runs away.
Kind of like gets ready to fight.
Yeah.
And Rat Trap's like, geez, what's their back and forth? It's funny.
Uh,
Yeah, Rat Trap's basically like, oh my god, why? I'm right there. Oh, I like how he roars and he like moves his hands like he's like a predator, like caught, or sorry, like he's an animal caught in a corner, screaming.
Yeah, Cheetor is basically like, whoa, dude, calm down. You're on our side now.
Right. Yeah.
And Dinobot's like, oh, right. And Rat Trap's like, and Maximals don't have torture chambers.
yeah.
Though yeah, I could get behind that idea.
I feel like if anybody could be a Predacon, it's Rat Trap.
Maybe he'll get the chance someday.
Maybe he'll get the chance someday. Maybe Cheetor and Rhinox will get the chance someday.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Maybe Dinobot will get the chance someday. Oh,
Maybe
wait.
he's already had that.
Wait. His time has come.
Yeah, and as they're like settling down and talking it out, Rhinox says, "We found you dumped in front of the command base hatch," which is, I guess, what they call that elevator, that little
The
lift.
elevator platform.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and I'm like,
how did
yeah.
Dinobot get back? Did the probe send him back? If so,
Well,
why?
it's suggesting that it sent him back to his base somehow. I don't know how or why.
Yeah.
Like teleport him? Like let's assume that Optimus isn't dead and he was like teleported somehow.
Yeah.
Maybe it shot a teleportation bolt at Dinobot and teleported him to where it where Dinobot like knew. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck.
But
so
why? .gif.
yeah, but why?
But why?
And then did it teleport the Predacons, or did it just leave them out to dry? We'll find out, I guess. Yes, this episode will answer those questions.
Yes, it will. Speaking of answering questions, Dinobot's all like, "Oh, Optimus, where's Optimus?" And then Rhinox is like, or I don't know, one of the other Rhinox, Rat Trap, Cheetor, any and all of the above are like, "Hey, we were hoping you could tell us." And then Dinobot is basically like, "Oh, right, Optimus Primal was terminated." And they all gasp, and Rat Trap kind of raises an eyebrow, and Dinobot fills them in on the fact that like an alien probe landed at the Standing Stones and emitted a beam of light at Optimus, and then he vanished while he was transforming.
He gives them the rundown.
Yeah.
And again, I'm like, why weren't all of you there? That feels really important. Like, for example, let's say Dinobot was decommissioned or injured or something and needed time to recover. What,
Yeah.
they just sit around wondering where Optimus is? Whatever. That is a very small plot hole in what I may find many, many bigger ones going forward. Some would say that's my specialty, to pick apart children's TV shows from the 90s.
Speaking of which, Rhinox is all like, "Wait a minute, why was he transforming?" And I'm like, I don't know, why wouldn't he be? Like, you guys transform all the time.
Huh. Yeah, and so they're trying to decide on who's going to lead the Maximals in Optimus's absence.
Yeah,
and before Rat Trap and... Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Dinobot kind of just takes charge and starts barking orders, and Rat Trap doesn't really like that very much, and he's all like, whoa, who died and made you prime, scale belly? Yeah, and Dinobot's basically just like, me, big, strong man, most powerful.
Yeah, and despite the fact that he has like two very dangerous like close quarters weapons inside here, and Rat Trap like still like marches up to it. Man, I'm surprised. I'm amazed at like I've said in the past episode at his immense rat balls he has, because he just marches right up to to Dinobot ready to scrap it out. And Rhinox intervenes. And he's like, hey, we settle this the Maximal way.
We're
by
not
s-
Predacons here.
Yeah, we settle it the Maximal way by secret ballot. And I'm like, what? Okay.
Yep, we over here at the Maximal base, we drink beer and cast ballots.
Yeah, seems legit.
Yep. So we cut to the Predacon base, and Megatron's like in this kind of hot tub type thing, hot tub heel machine, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Getting those heels, but he's roaring.
Kind of cool looking. They've got like energy heal pools.
Yeah.
And that means he's cured, much like the healing chamber that the Maximals have. They have like these tanks that the Predacons can heal in.
Yeah. So him and Waspinator get raised out of the hot tub heal machines, and Scorponok's very happy.
He is.
You wanna take it away?
If people haven't picked up on the show yet, Megatron's like right hand man is Scorponok. And as soon as he comes out of the tank, Scorponok's like, Megatron back! Megatron back! Megatron alive! Fearless leader! Scorponok alone with Tarantulas and Pterosaur! Very bad!
Oh, very bad.
Very, very bad! Scorponok no like. No like spider.
Oh man.
Home. Yeah, Tarantulas is there.
Yeah, Tarantulas is kind of just there, chilling out, and it's like, you and Waspinator were returned to us very damaged. So, I guess presumably they just... Oh, God. Sorry. I'm watching the bit of the episode where they're leaving the base, and, like, Tarantulas just scurries across the screen. Very spider-like. And listeners, Christopher is extremely arachnophobic and hates spiders.
Oh wow,
So,
that's fast and eerie. Yeah, and it like moves towards the where the camera's situated.
Yeah,
I've never seen him move that fast on the show. Wow.
Yeah.
He does it twice.
Do not like.
Ugh. So yeah,
Right.
sorry. He moves across the screen like 3 times, like very quickly. Yeah. So if you like T-Rexes talking to themselves and wiggling their little T-Rex hands, the show is for you. However, if you don't like spiders doing gross shit,
maybe not.
Maybe not, because like, let us preemptively warn you, there's a lot of very creepy spider serial killer shit on this series. I mean, if you're listening to us, you probably know that, but if you're rewatching this as an adult alongside us, it surprised me. Like when you're a kid, you're like, haha, oh whatever, creepy spider. But as an adult, you're like, oh wow, like this guy's evil. I don't like him.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Megatron is basically like, cheers, I remember now. Optimus Primal terminated. And so he's like, basically like, with Optimus out of the way, the Maximals are going to like bicker about who's going to lead them, and this is the perfect opportunity to strike.
Mm-hmm. And I guess he's kind of right.
Cheers.
Because when we cut back to the Axelon, which is the Maximal base, they're counting anonymous ballots.
Yep.
And Rhinox is reading it off of a tablet. And he's like, 1 vote for Rat Trap. And Rat Trap looks all smug and has his hands on his hips, and he's like, and one vote for Dinobot.
And Dinobot like kind of smirks.
One more vote for Rat Trap, and then he kind of like sinks his shoulders and like looks sad and sighs, and he goes, another vote for Dinobot. It's a tie.
And
I'm
Rat
like-
Trap flips out immediately, and he's like, "Hey, which one of you traitors voted for the Predacon?"
Right? So who?
I think it was Cheetor. Rhinox is like Rat Trap's best friend. He's probably going to vote for Rat Trap. And Cheetor has always liked Dinobot.
Yeah, but
I guess maybe not to.
and
up to
Rat
this
Trap
point.
has been kind of like antagonistic on the show thus far.
Toward
so
Cheetor, yeah.
And Optimus, right? Like when
Yeah.
Cheetor needed help, Rat Trap wasn't there. So if their only interaction has been what we've seen on the show, Rat Trap's kind of been a shithead.
Yeah, maybe Cheetor wasn't necessarily voting for Dinobot. He was just voting against Rat Trap.
That's fair. Sometimes when a vote comes up, right, you have to vote the lesser of two evils.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that one alone.
Yeah. Carrying on. It's a tie.
And I love Dinobot's reaction here. He's just like laughing. He's like got his hand on his chest, just like like belly laughing. And
He
he's like,
has quite the guffaw.
he's like, ho ho ho, great system, your democracy.
Like a weird, like dictator
Yeah,
mocking voting.
yeah. No mechanism to break a tie.
I got your mechanism right here. Yeah.
Although, I guess this means that like, you know, what'd be funny is if like Dinobot voted for Rat Trap and Rat Trap voted for Dinobot just to be like contrarian.
Well, what if Dinobot voted for Rat Trap? Sorry, what if Rat Trap voted for Dinobot and Dinobot voted for Dinobot? And the other two voted
shit.
for Rat Trap, and Rat Trap knew that, and he did that just to stir up shit.
That does seem like a Rat Trap thing to do.
Doesn't it? Because he knew that the other two would vote for him, so he's like, I'm gonna vote for Dinobot.
So they bicker back and forth, and Dinobot literally flips tables.
Oh, yes, what we will starts to recognize is that this round console table in the center of the bridge, or the dining table, as I may begin to call it, that gets flipped a lot. It gets blown up a lot. It's it's got clasps on the bottom. It's meant to be flipped. How wonderful! I never noticed before.
They clearly they anticipate these kind of situations.
Yeah, and the table's flipped, and Dinobot's like, "I'll become leader, but if by force if necessary." And he eye lasers Rat Trap. Like, doesn't even have his guns out. He just eye lasers him right across the room. Out cold.
Yep, and he is looks like he's about to take on Cheetor and Rhinox, and then all of a sudden, the voice of Optimus Primal from beyond the grave.
So it's coming through
console.
their. Yeah, what's up with that? That's
something
cool.
That looks like kind of like an old timey microphone.
It really does.
Yeah, and so Optimus is basically just like, I have no body.
And I must scream.
I have no body and I must flex.
Oh, wow.
He is a gorilla after all.
He doesn't even need to. He's just shredded.
Yeah, so he's like, yeah, I have no body, but my my mind and consciousness and yada yada yada. This is before the concept of a spark was introduced in the show.
Yeah, he's like, I'm existing somehow, but like outside of my body.
Inside the alien probe.
So yeah, so he's aware enough that he knows he's inside the probe.
I like how his communications sensors still work, though, even though he has no body.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the probe is letting him communicate. Wait, that's a good point. If he has no physical robot body, how? Whatever. All of these questions and more will be answered by the end of the episode, I'm sure. Right?
We can only hope. So yeah, Optimus is like, you need to come save me. Rat Trap, you're in charge. I'm sure you settled the chain of command peacefully. He just knows.
Yeah.
They're gonna be arguing about it.
And then who shows up to shoot the base? It's the Predacons. And then
Predacon attack. Megatron is mouth lasering the base, and he's got this big like teeth-bearing grin on his face.
This is when we notice that there is like an energy shield around the Axelon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it does repel like missiles and like energy weapons to some extent. And it only kind of like becomes visible as it's like deflecting shots, it seems.
And so Dinobot is like to Rat Trap, he's like, well, Commander. And Rat Trap's like, yeah, well, we're scrapped if we stay inside. Prepare for a sortie.
A sortie.
He throws a finger up into the air.
Yeah, like prepare for a sortie. And so you knew what this word meant.
Yep. So
but I do not.
So I know what a sortie is from playing Metal Gear Solid 5. Came out back in 2015. Listeners, I'm a big Metal Gear fan. That is another thing that may come into play in this show as we go on. But in the mission loadout screen in every level of Metal Gear Solid 5, you can like choose your equipment, your vehicles, your companion, yada yada yada. And when you go to start mission, a prompt will come up that will say something along the lines of equip selections and engage in sortie or something like that. And so I remember like years ago being like, what the hell is a sortie? So I looked it up. And a sortie is a military operation.
Which is like a counter-strike from like an enclosed location or a base, right?
Yes.
I like how Rat Trap's like, prepare for a sortie. And Dinobot, just to be a contrarian dick, is like, a full frontal assault? That's mad! And I'm like, dude, you always want to fight. You always want to do a full frontal assault. And now that like Rat Trap is like recommending the thing that you would have done, it's crazy.
Whoa there, buddy.
Yeah, and Rhinox is like, no, Rat Trap's right. We'll be buried in here. Let's go.
And Rat Trap's like, no, Rhinox, you got to get to work on making a doodad to get Optimus out of that probe.
He's like, what? Okay. I guess I'll do a science.
I'm gonna give it a maximal try.
So, yeah, speaking of maximal try, it's kind of like when you're like playing a game and you don't have a party that's fully like rounded out. Like everybody's a fighter and nobody's like a cleric or a mage. So somebody has to like prestige class or duo class something. I feel like Rhinox is the begrudging scientist of the group
Yeah.
because he makes a lot of devices and like 20% of them work? Like 1 out of 5? Well, I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see how many work.
It's the process of invention, okay?
That's true. Yeah, you have to break some eggs if you want to scramble a pred head.
If you want to scramble a Predacon omelet.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. So
a Predacon and pterodactyl sausage omelet.
So this is strange. Even though they've been firing at the base this whole time, as the Maximals descend in that elevator, the platform, they're all just there, and all of the Predacon like lasers and missiles make like a smoke screen as they try to shoot at them, and they either hit the ground or the energy shields block them, and that kind of obscures the Maximals' view. And the Maximals come running out of the smoke, all dramatic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Running
Dramatic,
toward
like.
the camera.
Yeah, dramatic rock music is playing, and Megatron's like, "Oh, they've come to meet their death, face to face."
Cheers. And Dinobot and Megatron are charging toward one another, and then Dinobot leaps into the air and like flying fucking super kicks Megatron right in the face.
Yeah, like Liu Kang, like what? Like he's in the air for like 4 seconds. Yeah, he flying Liu Kang kicks Megatron out right in the head, and he completely knocked on his ass, like unmoving.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, damn, Dinobot got some moves. I feel like you shouldn't get close to Dinobot. Like that's his strength.
Yes, he is a close quarters combat, hand-to-hand warrior.
Yeah, so maybe shoot him from afar. Oh, but he's got eye lasers.
True.
There has never been a moment where eye lasers does not make a situation better. And back inside the Axelon, as like everything's rumbling and there's explosions. Oh, I forgot. The other two Maximals, Rat Trap and Cheetor, they duck behind a rock, as they are known to do.
Yeah, the classic Maximal maneuver. I'm just gonna start calling it the Maximal maneuver now.
The Maximal maneuver, yeah. It's a strategic repositioning behind rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Rhinox is in the base, and miraculously, he already has some crazy sci-fi doodad, like, in the works. Yeah. And he's, like, grumbling to himself. He's like, oh, make a device to extract Optimus from the alien probe. Man, I gotta be a miracle worker.
And then the screen like rumbles and like he drops the thing and like it breaks apart and he's all like he face palms.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, fair.
And back outside, Dinobot, being honorable, allows Megatron to get back to his feet. Could have just,
Okay, wait a minute. Like, so how the fuck would Rhinox even know where to begin? And to be fair, he doesn't really. But like, how would he even know where to begin to make a device to extract Optimus from this alien probe? He knows nothing about it.
Not only that, he
knows nothing about the probe.
These are living beings, right? These Transformers.
Yeah.
Presumably they cannot exist, as far as their science knows. They cannot exist without their body to some extent. They can be knocked in pieces, as we will see in future episodes. They can be knocked in pieces and like put back together, and gain consciousness again, but like you can't be disintegrated and like have your energy like survive. At least not, it doesn't seem like they know how to do that. So yeah, that's a good point. Where would he even begin?
Yeah.
That'd be like, I have to make a device to extract Optimus's soul from this alien probe.
Yeah.
And
Meanwhile, I don't know what state his life force is in. I don't know what this probe is made of. I don't know the relationship Optimus's like life force is with this probe as
and
he's inside of
furthermore,
it.
and point number 4, to add on to your points, what would you do if you did extract him? What would you put him in? Where would you put him? Would you even be able to speak with him?
You would put him in a potato.
State of the art potato. And it's just like a little like potato like carved to look like Optimus's head.
You would put him on a potato and put like little like computer components sticking into
Oh yeah,
it.
there you go. If I've learned anything from grade 8 science, it's that something about salt water and potato and electricity.
I was actually trying to reference Portal 2 there.
Oh, okay. And speaking of potato, we get some fisticuffs with Megatron and Dinobot as they like sword / dinosaur head fight.
Yeah, and this is the first of many hand-to-hand battles we'll see between Dinobot and Megatron.
And they are nice.
Yeah, they are. They're always like very hard-hitting. They definitely get better.
Dinobot's disarmed. Yeah.
They definitely get better as the show goes on, but like this is a good start. Good first try.
It is, yeah. Like Megatron is just kind of like hammering on Dinobot, and Dinobot's like blocking with his like sword, like a samurai deflecting blows, and eventually Megatron
and his biceps.
And his biceps, that's right. And eventually Megatron does disarm Dinobot's sword, but
he still has eye lasers.
He has eye lasers. He like punches him in the gut and then delivers like a Falcon kick and like knees him Megatron in the face and then engages in some fisticuffs of his own. Like just look at these combos, beautiful. And I like how none of the other Predacons are helping him. I just realized that. They're shooting at the fucking base where the shields are still blocking him.
Yeah. And Rat Trap looks over at the elevator platform, which for some reason has a digital screen on it that shows a readout of the state of the shield.
Yeah. And it looks like the shield is like losing energy.
Yeah, and he tells Dinobot that the shield's failing and to get it back online. And Dinobot's like he's like trying to hold off Megatron's like T-Rex arm.
Yeah.
He's trying to like bite his face and he's just like, I am currently engaged.
Yeah, and I'm kind of with Dinobot on that one.
Absolutely.
Like, how are you going to like repower the shields and get to that console if you're shot in the back or like bitten?
Yeah. And really, like Dinobot keeping I almost said Megabyte, Megatron preoccupied, I think is better for everyone in this situation because, like, neither Rat Trap nor Cheetor, with their powers combined, could step to Megatron.
No, I think it's Optimus and Dinobot and Rhinox.
And Rhinox, yeah.
But yeah. And then saying out loud, like the smart leader he is, Rat Trap is like, well, one more missile hits our shields and they're gone for good. And I'm like, dude, don't yell that to everybody.
Yeah. And indeed, Pterosaur like zips up, and his gun looks way bigger than usual in this shot.
Let's see. Yes, it do. Much, much, much bigger. Like the size of his torso. Wow.
Yeah.
And after possibly hearing Rat Trap, he starts shooting at the base, and Rat Trap sprints towards the platform. Again, you have a problem with this, and I never even thought about it until you brought it up, but like, why? Anyways,
why is the shield control on the elevator platform?
And why is it necessary for him to reach it in order to restore the shields?
Yeah, what is him like putting his hand on a
big red button?
What is him like placing palm on reader going to do? Like, what is that going to do for the shield strength?
Well, as he dives for it, and the shields are going down, and Pterosaur's blasters are about to destroy part of the ship, Rat Trap action rolls, presses the button just in time. And all like the little the bars that had gone red as it showed it depowering, as he slams the console with his palm, they all just like go green again, as if he just like reset the energy for it.
Divert power from the deflector dish.
I was gonna say maybe it's kind of like using a backup battery or taking power from something else. But the thing is, Rhinox is inside on the bridge.
Yeah, but he's busy building a doohickey.
He could have sat in front of the button and pressed it every once in a while as needed.
Hey, you don't know. This doohickey demands Rhinox full attention. Damn it.
That's true. It's to drive the conflict and nothing more.
Yeah.
Or maybe something went wrong and it needed. I don't know. Yeah, deflect the power.
We're overthinking this.
Whatever. He got to it just in time, and the shields go back up, and Rat Trap, or is it Cheetor, shoots Pterosaur out of the air. This is hilarious. So Megatron has Dinobot, like his right hand is the T-Rex head, right?
Yeah.
He has Dinobot's left arm, like he's biting into his left arm, just kind of whacking him with his other hand, and Dinobot's like in great futility, like just trying to fight back and escape. And I'm like, uh-oh. But lest we forget, perhaps you forgot about eye lasers. And he fucking eye lasers Megatron, and like not even a little. Like if it glances you, it seems to like just kind of like hurt a bit. But when he takes it the whole thing, he kind of stumbles back a bit, and then he goes airborne. Like he flies 50 feet backwards.
So, is it not
motherfucking
enough eye lasers, sufficient eye lasers, or too much eye lasers?
Well, I'm going to stop you right there, because there's no such thing as too much eye lasers. Oh, wait a second. Last episode, there was too much eye lasers.
Was there?
Wasn't there? Remember when he got like laser happy and he started firing as Waspinator and Pterosaur were like retreating?
Right.
And he caused kind of a mini cave-in?
Yeah.
Okay. So that was too much eye lasers, but this is a sufficient amount.
On the eye laser scale.
Yeah. I will rarely ever say too much eye laser. And the Predacons are kind of like getting their butt kicked, and Tarantulas is like, I suggest we withdraw, Megatron. The true prize and reinforcements await us at the standing stones. And
like, what is the true prize? They don't even know what the fucking probe is.
No, they thought it was a stasis pod. Like they wrongfully assessed that it was a maximal stasis pod.
Oh, right. Hasn't it been ascertained, though, that it isn't?
Well, the
On their
Maximals
end?
know that. Oh wait, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because
They do know it's an alien probe.
Yeah, because remember,
Wait,
it like
what
it
the
fucked. They went and met up with it, and then it fucked them up. So
Why is that the true? Okay, so here's my theory. So Tarantulas knows that Megatron has an ego, so he's like, "Oh, we should probably withdraw Megatron. Besides, the true prize is the alien probe." And Megatron's like, "Oh, yes, the alien probe. Ha! We
Yes.
don't even need to be here. Withdraw at once." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay."
Oh,
As they're running away.
I don't remember why we even came. No.
We didn't even want to come here anyway. And as Pterosaur like flies off, and Tarantulas is beside him, and Megatron, Scorponok's not there, and Waspinator's not there.
Yeah, so Tarantulas mentioned that reinforcements await them at the Standing Stones. So that's where Waspinator and Scorponok are.
Presumably, the other two are fucking around near the probe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also like to think that Megatron basically is just like, the gold shiny thing from the sky awaits us there. I don't know what it is, no, but I do know that the Maximals don't have it.
Nana boo boo. Looks like the probe will be mine. Or in the very least, I can explode it. So you can't have it.
Basically, yeah.
And in case the viewer forgot, the Maximals begin shorting out. And Rat Trap's like, we've been in robot mode too long. Beast mode. Because, you have to remind the kids that they can only stay in the robot forms for so long. Even Cheetor like we needed you to point that out.
Which is pretty funny, but also
it's kind of self-referential, yeah.
It's some meta humor, but I also kind of get it though, because it's like, really, this is only the third episode, like,
yeah.
And
if you're just
catching this show for the first time, and you're like, wait, what?
Every once in a while, I gotta go, oh, there's Energon build-up. Quick, change back to beast mode. It kind of... reinforces
just to make sure kids are all caught up.
Well, how else can you remember what your favorite toy is?
So when you get out the Sears Christmas wish book, you know exactly which toys to circle.
No, the one that says Dinobot Mom. Yeah, I guess that's kind of like the Pokemon technique.
So the T-Rex, right? You mean the T-Rex? No, I mean Dinobot. You want the Dinobot, the T-Rex.
Yeah, he's a dinosaur. Why is the mom in this scenario Jewish? Why does she have like an East Coast like New York Jewish mother accent?
Because reasons?
Little Danny said he wants the dinosaur. They're all dinosaurs.
Does he want the pterodactyl?
Oh God. Can you imagine getting Pterosaur instead of anything else?
I used to have the toy of Pterosaur. That toy sucked.
But it wasn't your first choice, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I got you this one named Grimlock. He's not even on the show.
Hey, what do you want? These kids and their toys.
Yeah, what do you, I mean, I got them at the Goodwill, you know, but I got a real good deal on it. This is a toy from Generation 1, Dad.
Yeah, it'll probably be worth more. But kids don't care. They want to rip it out of the package and like smack them into each other and do voices.
You say kids,
But what
but
we mean is 25-year-old Christopher.
I was gonna say I am like 2 weeks shy of being 36, and that's still what I want to do with those toys, you know?
That's fair. Just smack them into each other and go, maximize, and then spend 20 minutes transforming them.
Basically, yeah. Get out my like Megatron and be all like, yes, the planet has energon to myself.
Excuse me while I transform. Well, I'm just saying, like, some of those were complicated as fuck. It took more than a few seconds to transform these bastards.
Hold on, Maximals. Yes, I need to get into robot form.
And the part where my hand becomes my head is really complicated.
I will try to be under 2 minutes. Cheers.
You know how like in the army, like you do those timed like sessions where you like completely take apart, disassemble, and then like put back together your gun, like your rifle, M16 or whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
imagine just like siblings, like with their hands flat on the table, and then go, and they like grab like their transformer and like frantically begin trying to like spin it and transform it into its robot form and back.
When
As
I
some
was,
sort of competition.
I'm sure that is actually a thing, like transforming
Oh, God.
competitions.
I never even.
It's got to be.
Me.
Like you go to
No.
you go to like Transformers conventions. I'm sure there's like there are tables of people like competing against one another to transform like super complex toys, and like other people like take bets. Because if people
Underground Transformers competitions.
Okay, so if people don't do this, they should.
I don't believe it. If people don't do it, they should. Yeah, send us a video of how fast you can transform your Transformers. Well, some of them were like 3 pieces, right? Like
Well,
bada bing, bada boom.
Well, yeah, bada bing, bada boom, man.
You know, your head turns into your chest, and boom, you're done. Speaking of transforming robots, all the Maximals transform into beast mode.
Listen, you come for the Beast Wars and you stay for the
mildly offensive accents.
and for jokes that are, you know, funny for regular guys, but not like Stephen Colbert level.
No.
Of humor.
Oh God, there's some future tipping our hat.
I gotta stop doing that. Anyway.
So yeah, speaking of transforming Maximals, Cheetor, Rat Trap, Dinobot, they transform back to beast mode, and in an amazing like display of like in an emotional display of weakness or gratitude, Dinobot actually says, "Oh, I apologize for not following your orders, but you were selfless in putting that shield back online, and I should have followed your command."
Which I get, but I mean, like, he was kind of busy. Like, Dinobot was kind of occupied. Like, I don't feel like he could have gotten out of that situation.
I don't think so either, but Rat Trap did pull off some John Wick shit. Like he was dodging shots as he ran across no man's land. Cheetor covered him, but he was getting shot at by Pterosaur, and he like did an action dive. I think I forgot to mention it. As he action dives, he shoots Pterosaur. like out of the
Right.
air as he like kind of like rolls over on his back and then presses the button that he needed to. So it was pretty cool. Like if you hated Rat Trap in part 1 and 2, which any reasonable person would, he's redeeming himself.
He's getting there.
Yeah. And Dinobot's like, I'm dishonored because he didn't follow orders. But Rat Trap even like is kind of like a little bit humble. He's just like, don't worry about it. Next time.
Yeah.
So that's a nice little moment there. Like Dinobot actually showed some humility, and Rat Trap was like, don't worry about it. So yeah, they both get points from me this episode. And
Some little bit of some planting the seeds of some character growth.
yeah, I like it. And the next shot is literally we cut ahead in time, and all the Maximals, or the remaining Maximals, the 4, are at the Standing Stones.
Yeah.
And Rhinox has a doohickey.
Yeah. Yeah,
He's
got his little doohickey in hand, ready to go.
I don't even know what it looks like. It looks like an antenna and part of a microwave with duct tape.
With some like coils on it, and
yeah,
it's
some blinking lights. And Rhinox is like, "Oh, I don't know if this will work, but it's as ready as it's ever going to be." And he presses a button on it.
And Rat Trap's all like,
oh, he's sniffing the air.
Man, it's too quiet here. I thought for sure the Preds would be making for the probe.
Dun dun.
And then on cue, Megatron is all like, "Excellent prediction, Commander Rat Trap. Yes."
Right? And they're just behind them.
Yeah, right behind them.
Like this is the 3rd time on the show the Predacons have gotten the drop on them while they're at the stones. Actually, the 3rd time. Like, maybe one of you stand up on the stones and be lookout.
Yeah.
Yeah, all 3 times. Come on, guys.
Like, hey, Dinobot, go keep watch.
Somebody, instead of gathering around the middle. Anyways, dramatic rock theme plays. And all the Preds are there.
And
all 5 of them.
They're
shooting.
Fire. And speaking of rocks, the old maximal maneuver once again.
They all miss. Oh, Rat Trap's gun is shooting like an automatic weapon instead of the plasma blaster. It's going do like.
Yeah,
cool.
He's
Did
got
you notice that?
An alt fire. I did not.
Yeah, it's like an alternative fire, like burst fire rather than like the single shot. Huh. Cool.
So he's like, Rhinox, get Optimus out of that probe. And Rhinox radios Optimus, and he's like, "Yo, boss, can you hear me?" And Optimus is like, "Loud and clear, big guy."
Yeah, I'm amazed that they're able to radio him.
Yeah. Again, he has no body, so how is radio transmission going down here? We will never know.
We will never know. And he starts pointing the doohickey at the probe and like, I don't know, waving it in front of it. And for some reason, I don't know why they weren't in the air already. Megatron turns to Waspinator and like nudges him and points up in the air, and Waspinator like salutes and then flies. Or no, he doesn't fly. He like runs around.
Yep.
Like goes to sneak up behind them or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, but he can fly.
I know. So the
flyer. Whatever. Okay.
The flyer is not playing to his strengths here.
I like how sneaky he is. I expected there to be like do 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 like the twinkle toe like cartoon sound effect.
Yeah. Fun fact, that is actually known as Mickey Mousing.
Oh, is that actually called Mickey Mousing?
Yep.
Huh. I'll have to remember that because I feel like we're going to see that again on the show.
Yeah, and it's really common in like old timey cartoons, specifically like old Mickey Mouse cartoons,
To
where
signify sneaking.
yeah, when characters would like tiptoe,
Yeah.
the music would be like doom, 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 and then when they would speed up, the music would speed up, and then if they would
Yeah.
start running, then the music would get like really rousing. Yeah, Mickey Mousing.
Huh, cool. Today I learned. Speaking of Mickey Mousing, Waspinator like gets up behind where all the Maximals are. And he's like, what would you say, 20 feet? Yeah, I'm going to say 20 feet. So he has clear line of sight and an easy shot on all of them from where he is. But
Yeah.
instead, he goes out from behind his cover and tries to get closer. Like he's going for like a Metal Gear Solid like like takedown or something. Like he's gonna grab Rhinox behind like the back and like tap square and make him go. "Ew, ew, 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 ew."
Or he's going for like an Assassin's Creed like hidden blade kill.
For the listeners, we will never ever reference Metal Gear Solid again on the show.
Never.
I'm giving you my Predacon promise.
And
On that
I'm
one.
giving you the old maximal try that Assassin's Creed will never come up again.
Yes. So what do we got here? We got Waspinator sneaking up and Rhinox saying
Yeah, so Waspinator
stable
Auditore
energon.
Waspinator Auditore di Firenze
Well, he's certainly trying.
is
What is
sneaking up.
Rhinox saying here? There's stable energon radiation coming from the probe. Oh, I didn't catch that before.
Oh yeah, he's like, oh, it's as if this whole place is a single device.
The entire structure is a single device.
Yeah.
And then very clearly, this is hilarious. He looks up after he like presses some buttons on that weird device, and in the reflection of the probe like it's just hovering in front of him. He can see Waspinator sneaking up behind him.
Yeah.
And
his eye turns to look back, and
is this the first time we see this weapon, by the way?
I think so.
I think so, yeah. So Rhinox like whips around and he's holding this giant like how do I describe this? Okay, so it's a chain gun with 4 barrels and it spins. And it shoots bullets, much like Tarantulas's legs shoot bullets, right?
But it also what spins looks like
a saw blade?
A buzzsaw blade.
But there's also like a mace, like like a spiked like medieval mace.
Yeah.
There's like 2 balls on his gun that looked like a mace that spin alongside the blade. Have you noticed that? I'm just noticing this. Is that a thing? Or have I never noticed that before?
No, I used to have the toy of him, and the gun that he came with looked like that, exactly like that.
So if he runs out of ammo, he's still got quite the weapon. Because that thing looks brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks rad. And speaking of brutal, this is obviously a close range gun. It's very inaccurate and his whole arm is like shaking as he's firing it. But boy oh boy, does he really fuck up Waspinator with it.
Yeah, he just unleashes a barrage of like full auto like minigun bullet fire into Waspinator. And Waspinator is like just taking heavy damage.
Like antenna and wings are getting shot off.
One of his arms falls off. We see a brief like point of view shot, and like his vision is like shorting out.
Yeah, static as he's just like getting like a hellfire storm of bullets on him. Oh yeah, he does lose an arm. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And Rhinox stops shooting and his gun smokes, and Waspinator's just standing there, like groaning in pain. And as he's shorting out, this is so perplexing. So he backs up and he bumps into one of the stones. and the stone begins to like, all the stones begin to like pulsate as if with like energon or electricity, and they start to glow white.
Yeah, just like they did earlier.
Yeah.
And then the probe opens up.
Yeah, Rhinox yells, "This whole place is a single device."
When I was a kid, I always thought he was saying signal device.
Oh, I see. Well,
Yeah.
that's just what the
No, it's what
single. Yeah.
yeah, it's what the closed caption says. But when I was a kid, I always thought he was saying signal device.
Well, that makes sense because, as we'll find out in a bit, it is kind of a signal device. Because as it opens, I like Megatron's face there.
I know, right?
I've never seen him that perplexed. Oh, well, he thinks Optimus is dead.
Yeah.
And wow, man, Megatron's face at the so for people listening, there's a website called Tubi TV, TUBI.TV.com, and Beast Wars is on there for free. So just sign up, make an account with an email, and you can watch it. That's how Christopher and I watch it when we review it. And at the 18-minute and 40-second mark, the probe opens up, and Megatron's face is. Well, I'm gonna screenshot that.
Perhaps that will be the show art.
It's very he's very concerned. Let's say that. I really like how his teeth are not perfectly straight. It kind of makes his teeth look more realistic.
Yeah, his teeth kind of look like mine.
Like they're a little bit offset here or there, and it kind of makes for a more interesting because his mouth is just black, so it kind of like frames the blackness of his mouth, and kind of by breaking that up rather than it just being perfectly straight like things across, it kind of makes him seem more organic than robotic.
Mm-hmm.
I actually really like that. And I'm screenshotting that, and he looks on in terror, wonder, as the probe opens up. Holy shit, there's some weird shit going on inside this probe, ladies and gentlemen. We get an aerial view up close. What the fuck?
I don't even know how to describe it.
So there are insectoid limbs inside of it, and a blue and yellow pill shell is rotating, it's a capsule, and moving. Wow, they had fun. We don't get to see it very long, but they had fun animating this. Wow, all of the parts inside are moving. It's yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's weird. It's very weird. Everything's moving inside.
Hey, props to the designers. It looks alien.
Yeah, it looks cool. It looks alien. And when the sides kind of are done opening up, there's a golden beam shot up into the air, and Optimus's silhouette slowly starts to solidify, and a fully functional, completely intact Optimus is reformed in his robot form.
Look who's back and feeling prime.
Yeah, and he's flying. Yeah, so I'm like, oh shit.
And he brings out his forearm shotgun and starts blasting away at the Predacons.
Boy, does he. All of them. He shoots all of them except Waspinator, who was already taken out.
Yeah.
And I understand their confusion. Suddenly there's an airborne Optimus hovering there. As you're like, what? So yeah, Optimus often one-shotting a lot of people, I've noticed. That's one of his strengths.
Yeah.
More so in the 1986 movie. Boy, oh boy, does Optimus one-shot people.
Oh, yes.
And Cheetor is like, whoa, Optimus, welcome back.
And, Megatron is all like, the day and the probe are yours, Optimus. Cheers. But heed my words, or something like that.
Yeah.
Not
beware.
Beware. Not all aliens are beneficent. Beneficent?
Yeah. Beneficent. After all.
And, yeah. So the Predacons leave.
Yeah, they just... And the Maximals lit them. The Predacons just kind of like pick themselves up. Megatron shakes his fist and they just walk away. But I'm like, isn't it nice that the Predacons are given the kind of mercy that they would never give the Maximals? I don't think the Preds ever just let the Maximals pick themselves up and walk away.
No, that's not really the Predacon way, you see.
No. I feel like the Beast Wars would have ended a lot sooner if the Maximals were less merciful. But hey, that's not what makes them... That's what makes them good guys, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, the battle is won, and Optimus says to Rat Trap, "You commanded well in my absence."
And Rat Trap's basically like, yeah, commanding sucks, especially with these assholes, so you can keep it.
Yeah.
And Optimus is like, well, I'm more worried about this probe. And then the thing vanishes.
Oh, whoa. Yeah, it just like slowly fades as if activating a cloaking device, or as if it's like blinking out of existence, because you briefly see the innards of it, and then it's just gone. It's just gone, man.
It's just gone.
Even Cheetor is like, what the spotted heck was that all about? Wow, he actually says that.
The spotted heck.
Wow, they should have kept that. Anybody listening to the show, you're going to quickly realize that the writers will just say him, like, will just make Cheetor say, like, the most wildest, outlandish, like, weird stuff they could think of. Like, they're just throwing slogan, catchphrases at the wall and they're seeing what sticks. And
it can eventually be summarized by saying Cheetor says some Cheetor bullshit.
Yeah, and because it happens so much that at that point it's just easier to to move along.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Cheetor says some Cheetor bullshit, and they're all left wondering. Optimus is like, I don't know. I guess they left because they found everything they needed to know about us.
And Rhinox is basically like, and they know we got destructive capability, we got reasoning power, and we drink beer.
Shit.
And
Dinobot's like, but why do they want to know?
So Dinobot quite literally goes all Velociraptor right here.
Yeah, because he's like, but why do they want to know? And more importantly, who are they? And he like lifts a claw to his like chin, just like Velociraptor.
Oh man.
He even says, friends, enemies, or something more.
Yeah. Like I said, he literally goes all Velociraptor.
And Optimus is like, good question. I wonder when we'll find out the answer. And the camera kind of zooms out into space.
Will it be next week on Beasties?
Yes, it'll no doubt be next week. So yeah, there's episode 3 of Beasties, aka Beast Wars.
Yep.
Which is episode 6 on Tubi. Which is the Tubi shows it in the broadcast order, not the production order. So there we have it.
So there we have it. On the Too Much Energon scale, we rate episodes of Beast Wars on a scale of not enough Energon, which is anything from a bad episode to not that great. Sufficient Energon, which is anything from, yeah, the episode was okay to, well, it was, pretty decent. To Too Much Energon, which is anything from, that episode was actually pretty damn good, all the way to the best episode ever. Cal, what do you rate Chain of Command?
The thing is, it's so interesting, but it doesn't give us answers, so I can't give it too much energon. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's very interesting, the whole pod, why Optimus was chosen, why he was brought back. But, like, the ins and outs of the fight with Dinobot and Megatron, right? But the ins and outs, the motivations, the dumb, weird things, like only sending 2 people to go check out the probe, just little things like that. It's a high sufficient amount of energon for me.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also giving it a high sufficient energon because I like all of the political stuff that was going on at the base.
Yeah. Anonymous ballots.
Honestly, I could watch an entire episode dedicated just to that. just to the Maximals, like calling an election.
I like to think there's like they had actually spent like an hour like kind of like preparing speeches and talking about what their platform would offer.
Yeah, Rat Trap is all like accusing everyone of voter fraud. To keep
is flipping tables.
To keep this podcast about a show from 1996 topical,
Yeah. So, yeah. Are there any closing statements we have for the show?
No, just that the best way to support the show is if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts or iTunes, be sure to give us a 5-star rating. Helps us out with discoverability. Check out our website, www.toomuchenergon.ca. It has embedded players for every episode of this show, as well as social media links and a bunch of other little goodies. It's a crap website, but it's all we got. And if you like this podcast and you know other people who like Beast Wars, tell them about it. Tell your friends. And if you don't like this podcast, tell your enemies. Smite them with this podcast you hate about 2 grown men in their 30s living in Canada talking about a cartoon from 1996.
That is correct. We are recording this in 2020.
Yes, we are.
Amazing.
A
time capsule, if you will.
Cheers. We will be back next time on Too Much Energon with the 4th episode in production order, which was also the 4th episode in U.S. broadcast order, Equal Measures.
Equal Measures.
So keep an eye out for that. It'll be next in the podcast feed right after this one.
Yeah.
I have been one of your hosts, Christopher Siege.
I am your other host, NeoCal.
And until next time on Too Much Energon, Beast Mode.
Beast Mode.
Beast Mode! Beast Mode!